Okay, so we have published our animatic, which means that we've got an OTIO file and we've got a bunch of nice reference videos, and we are ready to start Previs. This part's pretty magical to me, which is why this is called the Magic Browser and why this is called Alchemy. So I'm going to go into my Previs task. Again, I haven't started it yet, so I'm going to hit the start button. That is going to pull my Maya file in. It's also going to pull a Premiere file in that we'll get to later. But basically in Previs, I'm going to want to export a bunch of stuff, and then I might want to edit that in a in kind of like a Previs edit and test back and forth. So we found that both of those files being in there makes this stuff easy to organize. All right, so let's launch Maya. When you launch Maya from Alchemy, it's going to open with all of the Alchemy bells and whistles because it knows about Alchemy things now. The other important thing is Alchemy uses file paths to derive context. So if you're not in an Alchemy generated file, it doesn't know what you're doing. If you are, it knows everything about what you're doing. So if I go to my Alchemy shelf, the Alchemy shelf is this, it's kind of a smart shelf. Back in the old days, we used to build shelves for every task, which I still do. Like there's still kind of these like little buttons here and there. But once we've done this a lot, we've realized that every department comes down to a build, a render, a review, and a publish. Everything has that. So if your system is smart, which ours is, so we know that it is the Previs task because it says right there. Then you can do fancy things like what I'm about to do. I'm in my Previs task. I want to run the build. Now, what a build does in Alchemy is it is a custom it's a custom stage of production that we automate that has the ability to tie into Alchemy's pre-flight system. The build, the render, the review, and the publish all have the ability to tie into the pre-flight system. So that's what you're seeing here. That's what we saw in our last video. When we hit the publish button, there was a bunch of pre-flights. When we run the build for a Previs task, what it's going to do is it's going to find if there's an editorial publish, and then it's going to import the edit. Now, as we get a little bit further along on this little demo that I'm doing, it'll do more than that. I will probably add a pre-flight to import any published rigs, and I'll add a pre-flight to import any published sets, if there are any. There's not going to be on this project because we're going to do it kind of from the sets are going to come from Previs. But so we'll probably end up with an import latest rig in there. So right now I'm checking for edit files and I'm importing the edit. The edit will be imported into the sequencer. So without any further ado, let's hit run all and watch the magic happen. And that is awesome. So what that did is it brought in 4 shots. It brought them in with the production rig that the Previs soup defined, and it also built a sequencer in Maya from the editorial thing. Now, a lot of people don't even use the camera sequencer in Maya because, let's be honest, a lot of us didn't even know it worked. So I got to fix the naming a bit on that because that's not pretty. But when I play this, it plays our published animatic. So now we've got a place to start our previs from, which is pretty awesome. I'm beyond excited about this feature because it's something I've wanted since 2016. I've wanted to be able to, the ability to be able to reliably publish and edit so that all the departments could get like the time code accurately. It's always been a struggle at visual effects studios to do that. And then on animated stuff, I've always wanted what we're doing right now so that it would be easier to get an animated short started. I've been dying to do an animated short with my friends for a long time. And honestly, that's most of the reason I started working on all these pipeline tools, was because I wanted this stuff to be easier. Now it's to a point where even though I'm not an animatic artist, I could actually see me doing my own animatic and then getting it into Maya as quickly as possible. Or on one of our next videos, we'll show you how to get the same edit into Unreal Engine, which I know all of you are super excited about.